From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
A standoff with a man firing shots in the landmark neighborhood in Belgrade is over. How it ended, just ahead.
I'm Joe St. George in Washington. Why do some lawmakers want to pass a nationwide gay marriage bill this month? We explain the debate and the urgency by some next.
Happy Monday, Southwest Montana. That's the scene right there. Sadly, that's going to be the scene for a little bit. Chet Lehman and Matt Elwell with you here. Boy, the smoke rolled in overnight. It continues to roll in here. Numbers just degrading as the morning goes on.
I think over time we can kind of get used to it, but man, when it just pours in here and you wake up, all of a sudden my head hurts.
Contact lenses, not a big fan.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. And several areas sitting right in that unhealthy category. Bozeman, Butte, and Dillon, all sitting at unhealthy, moderate in West Yellowstone. Temperatures are comfortable enough, but it is going to warm up into the afternoon. A couple of things that you may notice, we've got a west to east push with our weather pattern. All that's doing is enhancing some of that smoke from those western fires. Temperatures for the afternoon topping out into the mid-80s. More cloud cover, still very smoky through the afternoon. We may see a brief reprieve here and there, but it's not shifting until a little later in the week. We're going to talk more about the timeline on getting rid of some of this smoke and a cool down on the way. That's in just a few minutes.
All right, 6:32. Thanks, Matt. A day-long standoff yesterday at a landmark subdivision near Belgrade is now over. TN's Jolie Salee reports that a man who fired shots randomly into the neighborhood ultimately took his own life.
I'm standing in the landmark subdivision in Belgrade where a man has barricaded himself in his room, reportedly firing anywhere from 70 to 100 shots. It appears that he's not aiming at anything in particular, but everyone in these surrounding houses have been evacuated. And with the use of drones, officers have confirmed that the man has barricaded his room from the inside out, and they have not yet been able to see the suspect.
I grew up here and I never thought in a million years that it would happen here.
Logan Smith and his family were on their way back from Idaho when they heard news of an active shooter just blocks away from their home.
First thing that came to mind was like, I hope, everybody that I know is all right. I just, really never thought about anything else except if, everybody was okay.
First responders arrived on the scene at 7 a.m.
We had multiple responders. We really want to thank all of them, of course. We had search and rescue volunteers that help us run our drones.
After 11 hours of trying to de-escalate the situation, police felt it was safe to open up the streets and head home.
So tonight, a little after 6 p.m., the individual here on Red Barn, he was found deceased from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Gallatin County Sheriff Dan Springer said it was not the resolution that they had hoped for, but they are extremely thankful that no one else was hurt.
We're glad that we were able to keep the rest of the community safe. That was the primary goal, of course. We are saddened, and we do empathize with this family. It's a difficult situation for them, for sure.
Residents say they are grateful for the steps first responders took to keep them safe.
It's still a safe neighborhood, but now we have to the biggest thing is we have to pray for the family. The family's going to go through a lot.
In Belgrade, Jolie Salee, MTN News.
6:34 now. Yesterday marked the 21st anniversary of the 9/11 attacks in the United States. In downtown Bozeman, a ceremony held to remember what took place in Montana. People gathered and reflected on that devastating day.
Aim! Fire! Aim! Fire! Aim!
It's one of those events that when you recall where you were and what your thoughts were, I recall having a hard time believing that that's what was happening. Honestly, it seemed so far away, it didn't seem real. One of those events that is such a tragic event, it actually takes a while to sink in and actually grasp the full gravity of what had occurred.
I had just joined as a volunteer fire department member back in Tennessee, where I was from, and that was very kind of overwhelming to just join the fire service and then have something like this happen.
Everyone remembers where they were and how they felt on September 11th, 2001. And for the last 12 years, local first responders have met here at the American Legion in downtown Bozeman to listen to taps, the national anthem, and to remember the thousands of lives lost.
We have men and women today that are in our armed services, our police departments, our fire departments, who weren't even alive when 9/11 happened. And so the fact that we continue to honor the victims of 9/11 and ensure that the importance and the significance of 9/11 isn't forgotten. I think that's most important.
Reflect, remember, and honor common sentiments from today's ceremony. In Bozeman, Jane McDonald, MTN News.
All right, thank you, Jane. In other news this morning, does the country need a national law guaranteeing the right to gay marriage? Some in Congress say yes, and a vote could happen in the Senate as early as this week. Our Joe St. George explains whether it's likely to become a law and why supporters say it's needed.
Gay marriage has been the law of our land for years. In some places, it's been law for decades. In 2004, San Francisco started issuing marriage licenses in the city. That same year, Massachusetts became the first state to offer them. In 2012, the first president endorsed it, and in 2015, the Supreme Court made it the law everywhere. Thousands of Americans celebrating their love since then. However, the recent abortion ruling at the Supreme Court has some here on Capitol Hill wondering if gay rights could be next. It's why some lawmakers want to pass as early as this month a bill to protect the right to marry for all Americans. And that's because of just one sentence Justice Clarence Thomas wrote in his abortion opinion. And unless you're a lawyer, you may have missed it. The justice wrote on page 119, "We should reconsider all of this court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. Obergefell is the landmark case that legalized gay marriage, regardless of what a state law said." Justice Thomas's issue here appears to be the same one he had with abortion, believing state lawmakers should decide who can marry, not lawyers in a courtroom. If for some reason gay marriage would ever be overturned by the High Court, it could mean uncertainty across the country, similar to abortion rights. See all of those states shaded red. Current laws would mean gay marriage would either be banned or likely banned there.
In the coming weeks, let us continue.
And that's why the Senate could move as early as this week to protect gay marriage. The Respect for Marriage Act would require the federal government to recognize any marriage if the marriage was valid in the state where it was performed. It would also repeal laws that gave states the authority to not recognize same-sex marriages. The bill already passed the House this summer. 47 Republicans joined every Democrat to pass it. In the Senate, though, 60 votes will be needed. Currently, at least 3 Republican senators, including Rob Portman of Ohio, have signaled support, telling reporters recently they are close to getting the necessary 10 Republicans to get this passed. But don't expect unanimous approval. Some conservatives have made clear this is an issue for the states, and the Democratic leaders are simply trying to create an unnecessary political debate weeks before an election. In Washington, I'm Joe St. George.
Back here at home now, every month we feature a child in Montana who's waiting to find their forever family as a part of our Awaiting Child program. This morning, MTN's Jill Valley introduces us to 14-year-old Trinity.
In this month's Awaiting Child, we go to Hamilton and meet 14-year-old Trinity, a very intelligent young woman who wants to find her forever family.
Trinity is a 14-year-old. I've had the pleasure of working with her for the past 8 months, and she's very special. She is very smart and strong-willed, determined. She's kind. She's a lot of fun to be around.
In my free time, I really enjoy reading. It's very relaxing and calming. It's probably been one of my biggest escapes, being in so many placements. And it's just really helpful for me. Other than reading, in my free time, I really enjoy being with friends. I enjoy kind of just doing nothing, like relaxing, having that time to myself. And I mean, I really enjoy being with animals. I mean, who doesn't? When it doesn't feel like there are people I can talk to, animals always seem to be there. I want to be a part of a family because, well, one, it gets very tiring to be in placement after placement and never actually get to settle down, maybe, put some roots down. But also because I want that love and care and that support just like any other teenager gets. There aren't any specific attributes or characteristics they need to have, they just need to be there and care.
Now, to learn more about Trinity or other children awaiting adoption across the state, visit KBZK or KXLF website, search for Awaiting Child. Matt, before we move on this morning, we have some new video just from England coming in. Check this out. United Kingdom's King Charles III addressed a gathering at Westminster Hall this morning, expressing gratitude and the condolences over the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Hundreds of lawmakers crowded into the 1,000-year-old Westminster Hall. the Houses of Parliament for this service, rich in pageantry, in which Parliament offered its condolences to the king, and he replied. Trumpet fanfare greeted the king and his wife Camilla, the queen consort, as they entered the hall, which was packed with hundreds of legislators.
That's really cool.
Pomp and circumstance,
Yeah.
pretty phenomenal. It's something that very few of us
have ever seen,
because
right?
she was
Yeah.
queen for 70 years.
Yeah.
So, unbelievable, the pageantry that we're seeing there. Mourning will be going on for a period of time. I think the official funeral will be next Monday. So
Right.
There's still lots to do there across the kingdom.
That's right.
Crazy stuff. We'll continue to follow it. Again, Queen Elizabeth will soon lie at state. The rules for paying last respects coming up. And then at 6:49, some appliance repair tips.